Look, let me tell you something straight. While most people are scrolling, living paycheck to paycheck, thinking that the economy, the markets, and the so-called experts will somehow save them, silver is quietly sending a signal that almost no one is paying attention to. $85. That number. It might not seem like much when you glance at your credit card statement or when you're juggling student loans, rent, car payments, and the mounting bills that scream louder than your alarm clock every morning, but mark my words, if silver hits $85, it will separate the people who are awake from the people who are asleep, and if you're asleep, you're already late. I'm talking about real Americans. Families who are struggling to put food on the table, watching inflation eat away their savings while the average investor is glued to Netflix thinking, I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. Do you feel that knot in your stomach? That's reality knocking on your door. That's the harsh truth that no one in your group chat is telling you because they're too busy ignoring it themselves. Look at this. Americans owe over $1.7 trillion in credit card debt, $1.6 trillion in student loans, and the median household net worth hasn't moved significantly in decades. Yet here comes silver, quietly climbing, quietly telling you there's a tipping point ahead, and guess what? Most people won't notice it until it's too late. Now I want you to visualize this. Your neighbor, the one you see every morning walking their dog, probably thinks they're smart. They have a 401k, they think they're playing the long game, maybe they even own a few stocks. But here's the kicker. They have no hedge, no protection against inflation, no real strategy for wealth preservation. And when silver jumps to $85, they're going to panic, just like 90% of retail investors always do. Meanwhile, someone who actually pays attention, who reads the signals, who notices the macro trends, the rising inflation, the market volatility, the Fed policies, the geopolitical tension, this person will be positioned, ready, and about to make a move that could change their financial trajectory forever. I'm not exaggerating, this isn't a movie plot, it's real life in 2026. Rent is averaging $1,900 a month in urban areas, gas prices fluctuate unpredictably, groceries are hitting record highs, and the average household is still juggling multiple debts. The $85 silver mark isn't just a number, it's a wake-up call. It's the line in the sand that will divide people who act from people who watch their opportunity slip away while complaining, I didn't know. Here's another harsh truth. Most Americans don't even have an emergency fund. They live on autopilot, a cycle of payday to payday, swiping their credit cards, thinking that investing is something rich people do, or people with fancy degrees, or people with insider knowledge, and that the average Joe or Jane has no chance. But that's a lie. You don't need a PhD. You don't need a six-figure salary. You need awareness. You need action. $85 silver is not a theoretical concept. It's a tangible milestone that, if you position yourself correctly, could act as a hedge against inflation, a store of value, and a potential wealth lever that most people will completely miss. Imagine watching your bank account slowly erode while the smart investors quietly stack silver, quietly secure their future, and quietly smile at the chaos. Imagine the guilt. Imagine the pride you'll feel if you're in that second group, the ones who actually saw it coming, who didn't wait for some guru on TV to tell them it's safe to act. Let's break it down visually. Picture a stack of silver bars, 10 ounces each, gleaming under a harsh fluorescent light in a small storage facility. Each bar represents more than money. It represents foresight, discipline, and patience. Now picture your neighbor, that same one with the perfectly curated Instagram life, watching the news headline, "Silver surpasses $85. Retail investors miss out. Panic sets in. Credit cards maxed, mortgage looming, student loans suffocating them, and no plan in place." That could be you, or it could be me. But here's the difference. One person internalized the signals, acted with urgency, and positioned themselves for security. The other left scrambling, cursing their ignorance, wishing they had just listened to that tiny voice telling them to pay attention. That tiny voice. That's your mentor speaking right now, telling you the raw, unfiltered truth. If you wait, you will regret it. And yes, this is uncomfortable. Yes, this feels like a punch to the gut, but good. That's exactly what awareness should feel like. You've been living in a bubble, scrolling on your phone, watching memes, thinking about the next latte while the financial world quietly shifts around you. Silver doesn't care about your excuses. $85 doesn't care about your feelings. This number is a reflection of scarcity, of demand, of market forces that won't pause for your indecision. It's a visual example that even the average American can understand. Scarcity creates value. If you have the foresight to act now, you could secure an asset that may protect you from a downturn, hedge against inflation, and potentially offer gains that compound over time. But here's the cliffhanger. The window is closing. Every hour, every day, the price moves closer to $85, and with it, the opportunities for latecomers diminish. Let's talk about psychological triggers because this is where most people fail. Guilt. You'll feel it if you keep ignoring this. Pride. You'll feel it if you act before it's too late. Urgency. You can't ignore it. You see the numbers, you feel the market breathing down your neck, and the longer you wait, the more likely you are to be in the 90% who react emotionally rather than strategically. Curiosity. You're asking yourself, what happens at $85? What's the real game changer? And that's the point. You have to know because inaction is the enemy of opportunity. Self-reflection. Sit down tonight, look at your current financial position, your debts, your assets, and ask yourself brutally, if silver hits $85, am I ready, or will I watch others secure their future while I scramble? That's a mental pattern interrupt. That's the punch you need to wake up. Here's another real-life U.S. scenario. The average family paying $1,900 a month in rent, $450 in car payments, $600 minimum on credit cards, and juggling $350 student loans monthly, they look at $85 silver and think, I can't invest, I can't save, I barely make it. But that's the lie that keeps them trapped. Even small allocations, small intentional moves can position them ahead of the crowd. Discipline over impulsivity, knowledge over ignorance, awareness over distraction. That's the Jeet Fix formula in real life. Raw, emotional, unfiltered truth with actionable awareness. And while we're being real, most people will scroll past this, shrug, say, it's just silver, I don't get it, and move on to TikTok or YouTube Shorts. They will miss the chance to secure a hedge against inflation that matters more than any meme or viral clip ever could. Meanwhile, the smart Americans, the ones paying attention, will quietly move, quietly position, and quietly smile when the chaos hits. $85 silver won't wait. It's the marker, the tipping point. And if you're not mentally, financially, and emotionally ready, you will feel it. So here's your first cliffhanger. Before we dive into part 2, the real game changer isn't just $85, it's the psychological shift, the discipline, the moment you decide to act while everyone else waits. It's the difference between being a spectator in your own financial life or being a player who makes moves while others panic. Part 2 will break down exactly how to position yourself, how to internalize the signals, and how to make strategic moves that most Americans will never understand until it's too late. And one last punch for today. Look in the mirror. That person staring back at you. That's either the future regretful investor or the one quietly securing a future beyond the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Your move, the $85 signal, is here. The choice is yours. Part 2, that's where the transformation starts, where awareness turns into action, and where you decide if you're going to be in the 90% scrambling or the 10% who act. Now listen carefully, because this is where most people choke. Part 1 shook you awake, that knot in your stomach, the guilt, the urgency. But part 2, this is the blueprint. This is where awareness turns into action. This is where you decide if you're going to stay in the 90% who scramble, panic, and regret, or become part of the 10% who act, who position themselves, who take control of their financial destiny while everyone else remains blind to reality. Let's break it down step by step. Real numbers, real scenarios, real Americans living this chaos every day in 2026. Imagine a household in Atlanta paying $1,950 rent, $420 car payment, $580 minimum credit card, $350 student loans. Combined, their monthly bills are $3,300 and their take-home pay is $4,000. That leaves $700 for groceries, gas, insurance, emergencies. If emergencies happen, they're drowning. Now silver hits $85. What do? Most of them freeze. They think, I can't invest, I'm already overextended. And that's exactly why they fail. The key lesson here: small, intentional, strategic moves beat inaction every single time. Even allocating $100 a month to silver, even just buying in small increments, compounds the advantage over time while their peers panic and sell at the worst possible moment. This is the raw truth of financial psychology. Discipline crushes ignorance. Awareness beats inaction. Step 1. Position mentally. You must mentally visualize the moment silver hits $85. Picture yourself at your kitchen table, bills stacked, smartphone open, watching the live price tick up. Feel the tension. Hear your neighbor whining on the news. Silver soared? I should have bought. That's the future you want to avoid. Mentally rehearse this scenario until it's burned into your consciousness. Every time you scroll, every time someone talks about the economy, remind yourself, this is real money, real leverage, real consequence. This isn't theory, this isn't speculation, it's life in 2026, and the difference between action and regret is literally hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars every single month for the next decade. Step 2. Know the landscape. Inflation is averaging 6.8% nationwide. Gas prices are volatile. Groceries are up 12% from last year. Traditional savings accounts yielding 0.5% to 1%, a joke. Meanwhile, silver is quietly moving, quietly climbing, quietly signaling the next shift. Do you see the pattern? The system is designed to push you into complacency, into consumption, into the illusion that tomorrow will fix it. That's the trap. The raw truth is this: the financial system will not wait for you. Silver doesn't care if you're ready or not. $85 is not a suggestion. It's a milestone. And how you respond will define whether you build wealth or watch it slip through your fingers. Step 3. Strategy and action. You don't need a hedge fund account. You don't need to borrow from a bank to buy silver. You need discipline, timing, and consistency. If silver is $85, the smart move isn't panic buying, it's calculated accumulation. Break it down. Let's say you have $500 a month for discretionary investing. Allocate $250 to silver, $150 to an emergency buffer, $100 to diversified ETFs. The action here isn't about gambling, it's about securing a hedge against inflation while positioning for potential growth. Visualize it. Every ounce you acquire at the right moment is a step ahead of your peers. Every dollar you delay is a dollar lost to regret. This is the harsh truth. This is reality. This is life in the U.S. financial battlefield. Step 4. Leverage psychological triggers. Remember guilt. That knot you felt in part 1? Channel it. Let it fuel your urgency. Pride, let it drive your discipline. Curiosity, let it teach you. Every time you doubt, remind yourself of the real-life Americans failing silently. Families crushed under debt. Young professionals renting apartments, watching the median net worth stagnate while the cost of living climbs. You don't want to be them. You don't want to watch from the sidelines, wishing you had acted. Pattern interrupts are essential. Every time you feel hesitation, snap yourself back with a visual cue. Picture the silver chart surging past $85. Hear your bank account screaming for action. Feel the loss of inaction. That discomfort is your friend. That discomfort is the catalyst for transformation. Step 5. Maximize timing. The $85 mark is not arbitrary. It's a psychological and market-based threshold. Many institutional investors, ETFs, and U.S. investors use round numbers as triggers for accumulation or selling. If you position before $85, you gain leverage. If you wait, you lose the edge. Real Americans who have lived this cycle know this. The difference between buying at $82 and buying at $86 can be hundreds of dollars, potentially thousands, compounded across months and years. And you, sitting here, have the opportunity to act while most others hesitate. Imagine watching your peers scramble when the headline reads, "Silver surpasses $85. Retail investors miss out." That could be you, or it could be them, and you'll feel the regret if you haven't positioned yourself strategically. Step 6. Manage emotions. Most people fail because they buy emotionally, sell emotionally, react impulsively. The Jeet Fix formula is simple but brutal. Awareness, discipline, action. Awareness, you know the $85 signal exists. Discipline, you follow the plan, don't chase hype. Action, you execute consistently without waiting for approval, confirmation, or a news headline. Visualize, your bank account reflects your action. Every ounce of silver acquired strategically now is a hedge, a store of value, a silent investment that others will envy but won't understand. This is the harsh reality. This is raw. This is America in 2026. Step 7, step-by-step transformation. Start with awareness, done in part 1. Next, commitment. Allocate resources. Position yourself mentally and financially. Step 3, execute strategically. Step 4, track and adjust. Watch the market, track inflation, and measure your own discipline. Step 5, internalize the psychological edge. Every small success compounds. Every delay costs you time, money, and peace of mind. By the time silver surpasses $85, you won't be panicking. You'll be calm, confident, and in control, while the rest of America flails in confusion. This is how you transform. Not magically, not overnight, but deliberately, step by step, hour by hour, decision by decision. Let's talk real-life consequences again. Imagine the average U.S. household who ignored the warning. Silver hits $85. They panic buy $1,000 worth, emotion-driven, no plan. They pay more than they should, buy in a frenzy, and immediately feel regret. Meanwhile, you've been stacking small, calculated amounts. You've positioned your portfolio. Your hedge against inflation is active. Your psychological discipline is intact. Your financial literacy allowed you to act when others froze. That contrast isn't abstract, it's life-changing. It's tangible. It's what separates people who build security from people who chase headlines. And the most powerful part? The knowledge you gain now carries forward. Today's $85 signal could lead to tomorrow's $90, $95, even higher. Your awareness compounds as you compound your assets. Now, let's hit another brutal reality. The financial system in 2026 is relentless. Inflation will continue, interest rates will fluctuate, global uncertainty will spike, and the average American will continue to struggle if they remain passive. Your chance is not about timing luck, it's about strategic positioning based on knowledge and discipline. Visualize your portfolio growing while others are stuck in inertia. Imagine your confidence rising with every calculated move. Imagine telling yourself 1 year from now that you didn't just react, you acted intelligently, strategically, and emotionally prepared. That pride, that sense of control is priceless. And it starts with $85 silver today. Finally, here's the last punch, the raw, unfiltered truth that most people will never admit to themselves. Your financial life will only change when you decide it will. No one else will save you. Not the government, not a financial advisor, not a friend who posts inspirational quotes. You will look at $85 silver and ask yourself, will I be in control or will I let fear dictate my moves? Will I act deliberately or will I join the herd scrambling at the last minute? This is the line in the sand. And the moment you decide, the moment you take responsibility, is the moment you begin transforming from spectator to player. From passive to strategic, from regret-prone to confident, aware, and ready. So here's the final visual for you, a table in your mind. On one side, disciplined investor, alert, strategic, calm. On the other side, panicked, reactive, regretful. Which side do you want to be on? The $85 silver signal is here, the opportunity is here. And the difference between watching your future slip away or controlling it is literally your next action. Remember this, internalize it, and then act. That's the raw, Jeet Fix style truth. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just reality, and your chance to step into it. Because at the end of the day, the people who act when most freeze are the ones who write their own financial story. The people who hesitate are the ones reading someone else's headline, wishing they had the courage, the discipline, the awareness, and the strategy. $85 silver isn't just a number, it's a mirror. It reflects your readiness, your urgency, your ability to see the signals and act before it's too late. And if you're ready, your transformation starts now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now,